Good afternoon, dear family. Happy feast of the infant Jesus of Prague. Welcome to today's Radio Light through our legal love moment. And it's always because we're very devoted to St. Joseph, but today is Wednesday, the day that we devote to St. Joseph. On the infant of Prague devotion. So this is my infant of Prague that I have owned for many, many years. And the one behind me is my mom's. So everybody in the family makes sure we have one. And by the time we're done today, saying a few words about him, I'm sure you will want to have one at your home. So the infant Jesus said, "The more you honor me, the more I will bless you." These were the words of the infant Jesus of Prague to Father Cirillo. So devotion to the infant Jesus of Prague is devotion to the child Jesus, the Son of God, who chose a stable for a palace, a manger for a cradle, and shepherds for worshippers. Our Savior grants special graces to all who venerate his sacred infancy. The little image of the infant Jesus of Prague is the most famous statue of the Christ child in the world. It is fondly called the Little King devotion. In 1556, Maria Manriquez de Lara of Spain brought the statue to Bohemia, which is now the Czech Republic. Maria presented the statue to a Carmelite monastery, and she told the religious, "As long as you venerate this image, you will not be in want." Her prediction was verified. As long as the divine infant Jesus was venerated, God showed himself to be so merciful, and the community prospered both spiritually and temporarily. But when the devotion to the infant Jesus was relaxed, God's blessings seemed to depart from the home. On November 15, 1631, the enemy took possession of the churches of the city. The Carmelite monastery was plundered, and the image of the infant of Prague was thrown into a pile of rubbish behind the altar. On the Feast of Pentecost, a few years later in 1637, Father Cyrillus, who himself had received many blessings from the infant of Prague, when looking for the miraculous image in the monastery, he found it almost buried under a lot of dust with both of his little hands missing. Full of joy and gratitude, he kissed the disfigured statue and then placed it on an altar for veneration. One day, while he was praying before the statue, he heard these words, "Have pity on me, and I will have pity on you. Give me my hands, and I will give you peace. The more you honor me, the more I will bless you." He went to the prior, but the prior did not want to give the money, he said, to repair some statue's hands. So Father Cyril prayed to Our Lady, and 3 days later, he got called to the bedside of a very sick, wealthy man, who, upon hearing the story of the infant of Prague, he donated a generous amount of money to repair the hands. Well, the prior did not want to repair the hands of the old statue, so he bought a new one. But the infant of Prague that had asked for his hands quickly showed that he was not pleased with that decision. And the minute that they put him in the altar, a candlestick fell on it and totally broke it. So Father Cyrilla was left again without the money to get his hands fixed like the infant of Prague had requested. So he started to pray to Our Lady again. And this time, a lady came out of nowhere into the monastery and gave him a very generous amount of money to fix the little hands. But when Father Cirillo gave the money to the prior only gave him a little bit of that money. And again, it wasn't enough to fix the hands. So then he started to pray again. So Father Cirillo started to pray to the infant. And suddenly he heard the infant say to him, "Place me near the entrance of the sacristy, and you will receive aid." He did so, and soon a stranger came to the sacristy who offered to have the image repaired at his own expense. And this is why, dear family, I have one of my Infant of Prague statue right by my entrance door. And of course, the Infant of Prague repaid the stranger for this good deed generously. So the original statue, which is housed in the Church of Our Lady of Victory in the Czech Republic, is about 19 inches tall, carved of wood, and thinly coated with wax. The left hand holds a miniature golf like mine, surmounted by a cross, and the right hand is extended in the form of a papal blessing. And the little king is dressed according to the liturgical season. And that's why my Infant of Prague also has his outfits according to the liturgical seasons. Got the green for ordinary time, the red for Christmas. And today he's wearing a brand new blue royal outfit for his feast, just like what he is, a king. So I like to witness one of the many blessings I have received from the Infant of Prague. When we were first married and we had bought in our first house, it was a very small house, and I wanted to have prayer groups, and I only had a space in a little walk-in closet. So we would have it every week, and there would be 6 to 8 people gather in a little walk-in closet saying the rosary. So one of the men that came, a very holy man, said to me, "Patty, if you want to have prayer groups in your house, you need a bigger house." So he took a dollar bill and placed it under the Infant of Prague and made the petition in my name. Well, a year later, we had a bigger house, and we had a big living room where I could have everybody that I wanted to come and pray. So that's one of many. So this is really the rays of light through a legal love moment. But before we end, I'd like to say the first part of the novena, which is very powerful. We will have it tonight, so you can take a note. But just so that you can see it, we're not going to be doing it in the Cenacles because we have a lot going on, but you would have it. So if you need it, I have had people give witness to me of miracles have been received through this novena. So we'll just do the first part of Jesus, who said, "Ask and you shall receive, seek and you shall find, knock and it shall be open to you. Through the intercession of Mary, your most holy mother, I knock, I seek, and I ask that my prayer be granted." So everyone, I hope that I have awakened on you that eagerness to have and venerate the child Jesus in your home as the Infant of Prague, the God King, the child King. So thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you tonight.